Hello, fam. It's your brother Jay in Israel. Welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. Live stream is going up on a Tuesday. Hey, what it do? What's good, family? Let me know that you are here. How's everything sound? I'm going to ask my wife. How's everything sound? Everything sound all right?
I think it's still private. I think it's still private, baby. It's not up.
It's not up?
Mm-mm.
It says excellent condition. It might be a delay on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. You know what it is, family. We live. And you know how we do it. Mistakes is free. They're on the house. We're making sure we're okay. 12TJC is in the building. Shalom, fam. That's my brother right there. If you can hear me, 12TJC, type 1. Type 1 if you can hear me.
Okay, now it popped up.
Yes. How do I sound? How do I sound, babe? Do I sound all right? Do I need to turn up the mic?
Speak.
I'm just, 12T says 1. Let me know, 12T. If I need to turn up my mic, let me know. Ema Bithia's in the building. Shalom, shalom to Ema Bithia. Let me know, family, how I sound. If I sound okay,
Yeah, you sound good, baby.
sound good? Okay. My wife says good. If we get one more good or tove, then that's all I need. They say they hear me. That's great. Because we have a special interview today. This episode is not like any other episode. Today we have a special guest. Today we have the honor and the privilege to hear from Demetric Pruitt, Anuahyahu. Anuahyahu is a legend in our community. He is an amazing MC, family. He's not a rapper. He's not just a rapper, family. That wouldn't be doing it justice. He is a lyricist. I said a lyricist. He has made powerful music that is awakening our people, that is bringing our people to the truth. So before we interview Anuahyahu, let me go ahead and run through these announcements, family, so we can get started with the interview. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's get to the announcements. We got Shavuot coming up. Shavuot, which is the Feast of Weeks. Family, we got to tap into our culture. Let me show you. All right. Now, if you desire to learn about the Feast of Weeks, if you desire to keep the Feast of Weeks, we got you, fam. All you got to do is go to playlists right here. Scroll down to Feast Days and Celebrations. Click on this playlist. And from there, bam, Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks explained. How to count the Omer, Hebrew Israelite teaching. Christians are like, what's an Omer? Hebrew Israelites are like, what's an Omer? Family, it's all good. It's Gucci. We got you. We break it down. We explain the Omer. We explain how to count to Shavuot. So click on this video and learn about this feast day. Guess what? We are required to keep the Feast of Weeks. Click on
video.
Whoops.
Video. We're gonna.
There you go, family. And make sure you cop that shirt right there from Kavod, Hebrew Israelite Apparel. Also, you can get this super cool, awesome shirt from Kavod, which is in the description. Any of my videos, just go below the video, click on the description, and get your favorite 4-letter F word free. Free goodies. 30 words in Paleo Hebrew, Biblical Hebrew, and English. I created these free goodies. I created the video tutorials and the free PDF downloads. They're absolutely free. Learn these 30 words so you can impress your family and friends. That's right. Yahusha's Prayer, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and English, video tutorial and free PDF download. The 10 Commandments in Hebrew and English, video tutorial and free PDF download. Let me go ahead and highlight that. Yahusha, the Lord's Prayer, Yahusha's Prayer, the 10 Commandments, the Shema prayer in Hebrew and English, video and free PDF, and the priestly blessing in Hebrew and English, the Benediction. You guessed it, video and PDF. Now, as I was saying, if you desire to become an ambassador for Yah, you can do so. You can get this shirt. You can get this Shavuot shirt. So you can be styling and profiling for the feast days. You can be prepared. Click on this link right here. Need Hebrew Israelite apparel. Become an ambassador by clicking on that link. Oh, here's Anuahyahu right now. I'm multitasking right now. So yeah, Anuahyahu, go ahead and pull up in the chat and I will send the link. It's easier for me to do it like that. Let me go ahead and do that. Because for me, I would have to grab the link, send it to the phone. Like I'll have to send the link from mail-in streaming to my email and then to the phone. It's just too much. So to make it easy, bam. Okay, got you. All right. In the chat is Anuahyahu, our guest for tonight. Let me go ahead and put that on screen. Awesome. Now, Aki, let me go ahead and run through these announcements. And we're going to get started with tonight's powerful interview. Family, we are in for a treat. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. For those who desire to become an ambassador for Yah, you can do so with your apparel. Trust me, it gets the conversation started. Kavod, styled in legacy. Kavod, word for honor, splendor, and glory. Shalom, unlock 20% off your order. That's right. Get your 20% off your order right here. Use this link. Kavod, Hebrew Israelite t-shirts and apparel, Black owned. As you can see, the Shavuot shirt, Shavuot is coming up. The Feast of Weeks is around the corner. Don't be late. Make sure that you get prepared for the Feast of Weeks. We got to keep the feast days of Yahuwah. And there is a variety of clothing. Mother's Day passed. Hebrew Israelites, most Hebrew Israelites do not celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day. However, you can honor your mother and your father any day. And you can do that with this Hebrew mother's shirt or this Hebrew father's shirt. And there is a plethora of clothing for women, men, and children. Clothing for regular days and feast days. That's right. All right. I see you, Anuahyahu. I see you, Ak. I see you. I'm almost done with the announcements. I see you in the background. I told you I was going to filibuster now. So let me go ahead. I'm almost done. Almost. All right. Let me go ahead and exit out of here. Let's go back to the announcements. Now, family, if you desire to support the ministry, you can. You can leave a tip, a donation, a tithe. That gotcha. I'll see if y'all was listening. You know we don't do tithes around here. No, that's what Pastor Pochop. Pastor Pochop says you got a tithe. But at the same time, he says the law is done away with. Make it make sense. Close them doors. You can close them doors. I can close them doors, and you can pay your tithes too. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Just playing. Israelites, put down your stones. Do not stone me. It's just jokes. It was just jokes. I'll be here all day. If you like to leave a tip or a donation to the ministry, you can do so through Patreon, Cash App, PayPal. Patreon, Cash App, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or the YouTube Super Chat. Fam, I have a job. I have a job. Trust me, if I didn't, my wife would put me out, and I'll be keeping Sukkot permanently. If you didn't get that joke, laugh now, figure it out later. If you desire to unlock content that you will find nowhere, and I mean nowhere on the internet, you can do so by subscribing to the Patreon. You can subscribe and unsubscribe anytime, family. Go ahead and subscribe to support the ministry and to unlock digital downloads and advanced, controversial teachings, biblical teachings that I can't put on the internet. Why? Because Israelites be sensitive. We got some sensitive brews out there. So out of respect for their sensitivity, I reserve the spicy content for the Patreon. All right. So we got one more announcement. No, two more announcements. Let's go back. Almost done with the announcements. And go full screen. I got you, Anuahyahu. Give me a couple more minutes and we are going to get started with this interview. I've been looking forward to this interview. All right. The name of tonight's show, Real Talk Tuesday. We discuss topics that we can't on the Shabbat. Trending topics, Israelite culture, wealth, health, relationships, interviews, debates, and more. Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We go live. That's right. I'm live. The mistakes are on the house. They're absolutely free. I'm not charging for them. Also, check this out, family. On the Shabbat day, you can keep the Shabbat with us. You don't got to keep it by yourself. We can keep it together on the Shabbat word. Check it. Friday nights, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Join us on the Shabbat word, Friday nights, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Write it down, take a picture. I don't give a what, and receive inspiration and elevation from the scriptures. Looking forward to seeing y'all. Let all family and friends know. Together, let's glorify Yahuwah. Last announcement. And if you ask my wife, this is the most important announcement. This is the most important of them all. Right here, family. When you scroll past all these videos on my homepage, on the home tab, when you scroll past all these shameless plugs, you know how I do. I'm always shamelessly plugging my content. It's worth it. Get your popcorn and your hot sauce ready. Get your popcorn and your hot sauce. You know how we do it. Some things ain't never changed. We Hebrews, but we still black. Get your popcorn and your hot sauce ready and binge watch all these videos to the point where you're at no return. And while you can't get enough, subscribe to my wife and I's channel. That's horrible English, but I'm from the Bay Area. Yeah, area. You feel me? Jaden and Jazz, subscribe. Why? We get Saturday night on and popping. We get Saturday night, the first day of the week, of the Hebrew week. We get it on and popping, family. We like to laugh. We like to joke. We like to have a good old time. We speak about Black love, trending topics, celebrity news. It is a secular show. However, as Israelites, let's not be rigid. Let's not be boosy. Let's make sure that we keep our smile. Because if you ask me, a lot of brews, when they came into the awakening, they lost their smile. If Stella can get her groove back, Israelites can get their smile back. I'll be here all day. Make sure you write your checks to Jaden Israel. That is first name, last name Israel, last name Jaden. Subscribe to Jaden and Jazz. We go live Saturday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I repeat, we go live Saturday nights when the Shabbat is over at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. All right, that is the announcements. Shalom, shalom to Zoom Play. What's good, King? You got the joke? Right on. Okay. I'll be here all day. I'm glad I wasn't by myself. You guys know I'm crazy. You guys know I'm crazy by now. Right on out. For sure, for sure. At this time, we are going to bring on the panel, our special guests for tonight. Now, brother Anuahyahu, give me 1 second. I got to do the right thing. I got to do the right thing, King. Let me go ahead. Let everybody know what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, family and truth seekers, I need y'all to sit up straight and give this man his flowers because we have a special guest tonight. When I tell you, this brother is a force to be reckoned with, I mean it. He is not a rapper. He is a lyricist. Big difference. A lot of these so-called MCs, I don't know what they're doing these days, but that's not lyricism. This brother right here is a lyricist, producer, filmmaker, CEO, dedicated father and husband. But that's just scratching the surface. Listen, this man is one of the reasons why I left Christianity for the awakening.
Wow.
You know that's right.
Wow.
I won't say too much because his story speaks for itself. So without further ado, let's welcome Anuahyahu, Demetric Pruitt. Let me go ahead and do the right thing.
Hey, shalom. Shalom, family. Shalom, my brother. How you doing, man? That was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Toda Rabbah to you.
Yeah,
Toda Rabbah.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, man. Thank you, Yahusha.
All glory, all glory. I'm thankful that you made the time to have this interview. I know that you are extremely busy, so thank you for making this sacrifice for us tonight. We've been looking forward to this interview.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you for having me, man, on your platform. You know, and it's reaching out, you know what I mean? Yahusha. I'm sorry I was a little late because I just got off work, man. I was rushing home. You know what I mean? So thank you, bro, for having me. I appreciate you.
You gave me the perfect opportunity to give the announcements, to filibuster, like I was saying, and it gave time for people to come in. So it's all good. I mean, late's relative, right?
Huh?
That's relative. Being late is relative, right?
Facts.
All right, all right. So let's go ahead and get to it. Family, make sure that you like the video, all the good stuff. Like the video, thumb up. You know what to do. All of it, family. Comment. Don't be shy. For sure, for sure. Let's go ahead and get to tonight's interview with our good brother, Demetric Pruitt, Anuahyahu. Now, first, let me ask you. So, how's your day going? How was your day?
It was good, man. You know, I'm a courier, bro. So I drive a lot. So I was on the road. You know, I be delivering packages throughout the day. You know, so I'll be all over LA. I live in California, Los Angeles, California. So born and raised. So yeah, that's what I do for a living. I drive my car and drop off packages. So I'll be all over. And sometimes they send me out of state. Just depends on where I'm at. So yeah, but today's been a good day, Yahusha. Made it home safe. You know, there's a lot of crazy drivers out here in LA, man. But I made it home safe. You know, Anuahyahu always gets me home safe to my family. So Barak Yahuwah.
Yeah, I remember when I took my wife to LA. We've been to LA a few times, man. LA is awesome. It's amazing. It's expensive, and nobody can drive out there. You're right about there. There's some terrible drivers out there. I thought we
Oh,
can't drive out here in the Bay Area. I live near the Bay Area. I'm originally from the Bay, but yeah, LA, y'all be speeding. Not you, but
hey,
LA people be speeding and tripping,
man, is it true?
honking the horn and flipping.
Is it true what they said about y'all in the Bay, man? They
What's that now? What they say?
they say y'all don't like people from LA, man. I
You
heard
know,
that. I heard that from somebody from the Bay because I do Uber too sometimes, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you the secret, man. People from the Bay, man, they really don't mess with people from LA, man." I said, "For real?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" He said, "Man, it's like some little like rivalry type of thing." I said, "For real?" I said, "Yeah, I never heard that before," but he put me up on that. So anytime I meet somebody from the Bay, I always mess with them and tell them that.
And I've heard the same from LA. I've heard the same, like what you said on the reverse, like y'all don't like us. That's what I've always thought. I think we're in competition. You know what it is? I'll be honest. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Me originally being from the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
I think we don't like to admit it, but we're a little jealous because y'all get all the shine. Like when it comes to the artists, especially like mainstream artists, you guys get all the attention. If us out here in the Bay, if we want to make some money, we gotta go down to LA. And I feel like, the Bay Area, we come up with a lot of like catchphrases and we got our own swag, the way how we dress, the way how we move, our charisma, our mouthpiece. It feels like everybody likes to bite it. And also, too, with like producers, I mean, it's been said, I'm not saying it, but it's been quoted that DJ Mustard, he stole the sound from
Oh
the
yeah,
Bay and took it to LA. Now, I'm not saying I'm the one who said
yeah.
it, but I've heard that.
No, I mean that's without question, man. Because growing up in LA, man, we always looked at like the Bay is like our family. You know what I mean? And so we so laid back out here. We don't really think like that. But like in regards to like when I was in the world, bro, I used to show a lot of respect to the Bay Area. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's never been nothing like that. Um, but yeah, no, it's I can see that being like that because a lot of times LA gets a lot of shine and all that stuff. But what's good is coming into the truth. You break all those barriers, man, because that stuff don't matter. You know what I mean? You feel me? So Barak Yahuwah.
Yeah, that's lightweight stuff. That don't matter at all.
Yeah, facts.
Absolutely. Yes. So let me go ahead and ask you. Let me go ahead and ask you this, King. So go ahead and share with us your background. Tell us about your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
That you mentioned you're born and raised in LA. Would you like to go ahead and elaborate on your upbringing?
Yeah, man. Born and raised in LA. Just a brother of two sisters. You know what I mean? Not I grew up in South Central, like a bad part of South Central LA, man. So we didn't have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Family was on county, you know what I'm saying? But you know, Abba Yahu always kept us. My dad, rest in peace, was he used to practice Jehovah's Witness, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. So I remember when I was like 3, 4 years old, I remember I used to have them little suits on going door to door with them, man, and going to the Dodger Stadium. They would have like these the people from the Kingdom Hall, they would go to the Dodger Stadiums and have these little conventions and stuff there. And that's what I can remember about, like as far as me trying to understand Yahuwah. I was a child, and I think I was into that until maybe around 13, 14. And as I got older, my mom, she was this fellowship, so it was like I kind of just started doing my own thing when I started to come of age. Never really got into gangs. My dad was, he was into gangs when he was young. So, thank goodness he was in the house because, gang culture is real big out here. Um, and another thing, we was always moving. I mean, my family was always moving. Like it seemed like every 3 years, we would always be in a different hood, like in LA, but we was always in LA. like the worst parts of LA, but we just always moved, which was probably good for me because if I would have grew up in the area, you know, my whole life, I probably would have been involved in some type of gang activity. You know, I knew people, but we was always moving, so I never got caught up in that. Um, but you know, just being from LA was like, you know, you always had to keep your head on a swivel. I'm sure it's the same like in Oakland. You know what I mean? Because you got it's just so bad. You could cross the street and be in a different hood, and if you got the wrong colors on, I remember getting banged on when I was 15 for the first time, and it was just crazy because I never had fear to like run. You know what I mean? And but Abba Yahuwah always protected me, like nothing would ever happen to me. You know, just words. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he was keeping me for this time. If I could really you know, put that on, because he really kept me for this time. Because when I was young, I almost got kidnapped when I was like uh when I was about 6 years old. Me and my sister, you know, back in the day, because I'm almost 50, you know, so back in the day, you know, we can go to school, we can go to the liquor store by ourselves and be 5 years old. My mom used to send me to the store and get her cigarettes, you know what I'm saying, like with a note. And I was just like 5 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I would never, ever like thinking about the stuff they would do back then was way different. So, yeah, we would walk to school, and, you know, one time we almost got kidnapped, and Yahuwah kept me even back then without even knowing him. You know what I mean? So I always look at a lot of things I've been through was like him preserving me for this time, for his people. You know what I mean? Because I'd be thinking like, dang, that could have went, you know, real left. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. South Central,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't make it. I got a 28-year-old that's involved in gangs, and then I got a 29-year-old that's not really involved, but he's involved. You know, and as much preaching as I've done to them being young, just being involved in LA, you know, and them going to school, they just got caught up in it, you know. So, you know, I just pray for them, man.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. Yeah. You brought up a point about gang culture in LA, how
Mm.
it's notorious. Like it's prominent in
Yeah.
LA, and it's spread out everywhere. And yeah, that's got to be pretty scary. That experience you had, just what you had on the wrong colors that day on the wrong block, and
Yeah,
like he pressed you for it.
I had left the house and I was like, I don't know if you guys seen this dude, 4Extra. He's some young dude, man. They be putting out there, man, to destroy the minds of our people. But he's a Crip from like 40s, and I used to live in that hood, and I remember walking. I mean, I used to catch the bus and walk the rest of the way to school. So catching the bus, I had on a lot of burgundy. You know what I mean? Like burgundy shirt, burgundy shoes, Chuck Taylors. I had like a burgundy belt on, brown, you know, a burgundy sweater, brown pants. So that's like, you know, I look like a blood, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 15. I'm like in the 10th grade, and these older dudes pass me, and they look like they like in their 20s, and they pass me, and they walk all the way up the block. You know what I'm saying? And I had my book bag on and everything, and I seen them coming back. I said, man, they about to press me. You know what I'm saying? And they could have just killed me. They could have killed me or whatever, man. They just came up to me and tried to check me. You know what I mean? But I didn't run. You know, they said, you know, they were saying something about being a slob or you a slob, da da da. I'm like, man, like I ain't involved in none of that, bro. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to school, bro. And they let me go. You know what I mean? But I just look at that like that was just Yahuwah's protection even back then too. Cause they could have, you know, they could have knocked me down, you know. So yeah, I had a lot of experiences like that, you know, even getting older, man, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just, but Yahuwah always kept me, man, every single time, bro, even without knowing him, bro.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful.
Mhm.
All praises. Wow.
All the saints.
So I got to ask you this now. how did you receive knowledge of self as an Israelite? 'Cause I know you mentioned in watching a documentary, and I don't want to give it away because I did read your bio on your website, but I would like for you to go ahead and elaborate. Like, how'd you receive knowledge of self?
Well, I started with my son's mother, because they have my two boys. They have a different mom. Me and my wife, we have 5, and I have 2 before I met her. Her mom used to have these little Bible studies, and so that's how I kind of got back into reading the Word. And so after me and her wasn't together, I would just kept my relationship trying to get to know it back then who Jesus was. You know, I remember I became like a Bible thumping Jesus freak, bro. And so I was into the Word, even to the point where I don't want to go too deep because it's to take a long time with the story, but I had like a lot of
Oh, I
things.
mean, we got time if you like to elaborate. You can go ahead, however you want to go ahead and bring it out. But I just wanted to ask you real quick, even as a Jehovah's Witness at this time,
No,
was you were a Jehovah's Witness?
I had left that when I was about maybe 14, and
Okay.
my mom was his fellowship. So what happened was, my dad was from the hood too, so we didn't keep up with going to the Kingdom halls. Once she was his fellowship, my dad, he had to believe, and every now and again he would have people come to our house, but we would never really go to the Kingdom hall a lot, or if he did, he'd go by himself. And so as I got older and started running the streets, when I got like 16, I was in and out the house. So I was always running the streets. And so I didn't keep up with any of that stuff. So when I met my son's mother, I was 19. And so her mom was a recovering addict. So she was always into the Bible. You know what I mean? And so she would invite us to Bible study and stuff. And that's when I started learning about Jesus and all this. So then I became, like I said, I used to always like question the Bible, but like I believed it. I believed it even though I wasn't living it. You know what I'm saying? I was doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it was like Yahuwah was giving me bits and pieces here and there. And when me and her broke up, I was living in Westchester in California. And so at this time I was like selling weed. I was doing a lot. I had a roommate at the time. We were just doing a lot. Like our spot was like a kicking spot for the hood over there, and I was selling weed and just doing a lot of stuff. And this guy I had met when I was 19, we had been cool since 19, but we didn't kick it that often. But when I got older, he started coming back around, and it's interesting because I tell people this story, and was my turning point with like really, really trying to seek Yahuwah and know who he was, because I had a lot of darkness around me. I had people around me that was in doing robberies and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So this guy I was cool with. He was an older cat, man. And he was an older cat, man, and we was cool. I looked up to him. He had the money, he had the women, everything that I thought was cool, back then. And I remember like he started always asking me to do stuff, because he had got me a job, you know what I mean? So he was always asking me to do stuff because he had bread. And so he was, I remember the first crazy thing, he was like, he had got this apartment complex, and he wanted me to ride with him to I guess go do something to somebody who I guess skipped out on some money that he had paid the guy to fix a bathroom or something like that. And the guy skipped out with his money, so he found out where the guy stayed. So he called me up, and in my mind, how you could be in the world, but in your mind, you like, man, I shouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so in my mind, I was thinking like, but I'm loyal to the homie, so I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So I went, and I remember he was like, okay, go knock on the door. Go knock on the door. I'm gonna wait in the bushes with this gun. Go knock, just lure him outside. You know what I'm saying? And so I went, knocked on the door, had a big trench coat on, had like this. All I had was a screwdriver in my pocket at the time.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, yeah. And so but it felt weird. It felt like it was a setup, like the devil was trying to take me out, right? And so the dude brother answered the door. The guy wasn't there. Now I could have been dead. I could have got shot at the door. anything. And so we end up leaving because the guy wasn't there. And so when we left, I remember I was like, you know, I used to smoke a lot of Black and Milds. I smoke a lot of weed, and we were drinking some Hennessy. And I remember we were driving off, and he was on the phone with somebody. He was like, "Yeah, man, D gonna be like me." He said he gonna be like me. Now you remember the scripture where it say he searches for a proselyte, and when he makes him, when he finds him, he makes him twice the child of hell as himself. So I'm in the car with him, and he like hearing him say this to somebody. I don't know who's on the phone. Be like, "Yeah, man, D ain't down, man. He gonna be like me." Like he was trying to recruit me, and so I didn't think nothing of it. And I'm smoking these Black and Milds, and I remember he said to me, he said, "Man, you gonna start smoking cigarettes." That's what he told me when I'm in the car, because I didn't used to smoke cigarettes. He tells me, "You gonna start smoking cigarettes," and I'm like, "Nah, bro, like I never." You know what I'm saying? Like I smoke my weed and I smoke these blacks, whatever. I never smoke cigarettes. And he like, "Nah, you gonna start smoking cigarettes. Trust me." And so he drops me off at home, bro. I promise you, man. He drops me off at home. Fast forward like a week later, he calls me up and he like, "Man, I need you to do me a favor." And I'm like, "What's up, bro?" He like, "Man, I need you to rob. He wanted me to rob this location. I won't say the name, but it was a location that is very well known out here. And he wanted me to rob it, or whatever. And I just felt like, dang, why is this dude calling me to do dirt? Like, I mean, we've been cool all this time, but now all of a sudden he's calling me to do all this bad stuff. And so I said, "Man, I don't know, bro." He said, "Man, I got it all figured out, man. I got this, I got that." You know what I mean? The layout, he showed me, I mean, that he was telling me the whole layout. So I'm like, "Man, I'll think about it, bro." And so when I hit him up, I said, "Man, we'll figure it out, but just come to the house. And I believe I got, you know what I mean, somebody that can do it." One of my little homies, rest in peace or whatever, that passed away. And so he comes to the house, and the crazy thing is, now that I'm older, I think about all the things that will happen when he would come around. He will always ask me, "Can I come in your house?" We had been cool since I was like 19 years old. So every time he would actually come to the house, he would be like, he couldn't come in unless he was invited. Now it's so crazy because I think that movie Sinners talks about that. So I really think that they got a lot of stuff from reality, like real, because this guy would come to my threshold of my door, and he would always say, "Man, I can't come in until you invite me." And I'll be like, "Man, just come in, bro." So he comes in. I got a house full of people. We all smoking, we all drinking and stuff, and we all in my, okay, some of us go in the bedroom, and I guess he going over the layout, whatever. And so I'm sitting there and I'm high. Everybody high, we smoking this, that, and the third. And he waits for everybody to leave the room. Now everybody left the room except for me. And we talking. He's just staring at me. And I'm high, so I'm like, it's kind of weird. Like, bro, why you staring at me? You know what I'm saying? It was like a weird feeling. But it felt like spiritual. And it was like he was staring through my soul. And he started laughing at me. Bro. And he said to me, "I want you to know I'm Lucifer, I'm the devil, and I'm here to steal your soul." And he said, he looked on the I had this little night end table. I had a pack of cigarettes on the night end table, bro. And he started laughing at me because he had told me a week before I was gonna buy cigarettes, and I totally forgot he told me this. I totally forgot that this man told me this. And so it scared me. He started laughing. He said, "Man, you never notice everything I asked you to do, you do." And he started going down the line, telling me all the things I was doing, like from the weed I was selling. I got the connection from him. I was cheating. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was cheating on her, like with this girl that he took me to the strip club to meet. And I was everything I was doing that was bad in my life was through him because he was the big homie. And he went down the line. He said, and he was just staring, but he waited for everybody to leave the room. He said, "But I notice in you, you're very weak." He said, "But I can't do anything to you that's not your free will." This is what he telling me, bro. And I'm high. I'm talking about I'm faded, bro. So I'm like, I'm panicking. My heart is beating fast, bro. I never had nobody, none of the homies ever tell me this in my life, bro. So it was like insane, bro. So so I remember standing up and I almost failed. I remember I almost failed, like, and I came out the room after what he told me, and I was like, man, y'all ain't gonna believe what B just said, da 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 da. And everybody was high, they was focused on me, and this dude came out the room, and mind you, he was like my homie, so a lot of my younger homies didn't really know him that well. But it's like he came out the room and commanded the room, like he just went, sat down, and everybody followed him. And I was just sitting there looking at everything unfold, bro. And I was just like, dang, this dude just controlled the whole room, bro. Like, and I could not get out what I had to say until he left the house. And I remember, bro, like later on, bro, like I don't even know if it was the same night, because I started thinking about my life. When that happened to me, I started thinking about my life, bro. And I started praying, bro. I didn't have a relationship with Yahuwah like that. I remember being by myself, and I mean, dudes that came to try to blow my head off and kill me before. And but Abba Yahuwah always protected me, bro. I remember going to walk to the door, to open the door, and Yahuwah said, don't open the door. You know what I'm saying? Don't open the door. You know what I'm saying? So all this was happening in the same apartment. So I remember going outside, and I remember I just started crying, bro. I was sobbing, bro. I started crying, bro. And I started asking Yahuwah, like, not knowing his name, I just was praying. And I said, Father, I said, man, I don't want to go to hell. I kept saying, like, man, I kept saying, Father, like, if you show me who you are, you know, I'll serve you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to hell. Like, you know, forgive me. All this stuff. I was just praying, bro. I was crying, but I was by myself. All the homies wasn't there, and I just started saying, Abba. I wasn't saying Abba Yahuwah. I was just saying God. I was like, God, remove these people from my life. Anybody who's in my life that's not meant to be in my life, remove them, Father. And when I tell you, bro, that guy had my phone number, had my address, knew everything about me, completely stopped coming to my house, bro. And he could not come over, bro, because I had prayed that prayer. And that's why right now I'm really strong on belief in regards to, we got to really ask Yahuwah, even when people come in and out your life, you got to really put Yahuwah, like ask him, is this person meant to be in my life? Just because of what happened to me back then. And I seen the power in Yahuwah and how he can stop somebody from actually coming. You know what I mean? It's power when you believe and trust in Yahuwah. So I just started praying, and I remember people just started going to jail. All this stuff started happening, and I was left by myself. I remember I was getting evicted, and I was left by myself. And I think my turning point was I remember laying in my bed when all this was going on, laying in my bed, and I remember I was getting attacked by some demons in my sleep. And I heard like Yahusha's voice, and he told me to get up and go pray. So I remember going up in the shower. I just started praying, bro. I started praying, and I just remember it felt like he was just cleansing me. Like, I mean, I think I stayed in the shower for hours, bro. Just coughing up all this, but it was nothing coming out, but it felt like something was coming out, like spiritually. And I remember the next morning, bro, like that's when I said I felt different. I felt like a different person. I was like, man, I'm about to go to the nearest church. I was like, man, wherever he is, I want to go. So I remember I was in Westchester, so that's really close to Inglewood. So I remember walking to this big mega church on Sunday the next morning, and I remember walking, bro. I walked all the way there, and I was just talking to him because I remember just hearing his voice. So I would just talk to him. I sat in the back of this big mega church, bro, and I heard his voice, and he spoke to me. He said, "Look around." He told me to look around, and I looked, and he said, "I'm not in here. I promise you, bro." He said, "Like you're not gonna find me here." So I think that was my first introduction into like really understanding, like what he was trying to show me was, don't think you're going to seek me in these church buildings. So then I started fellowshipping in churches, but I would never become a member because I always remember what he told me. So I would just go just for the fellowship because I wanted to be around people who believe, and I didn't understand Hebrew Israelite walk. So I never even heard of that. But I remember meeting this guy, and he would tell me about the Shabbat and all this stuff. So I was a Christian. I kept the Shabbat already. You know what I mean? So the closest thing I knew that was like that was Seventh-day Adventist. So then I started going to Seventh-day Adventist churches. But they were still doing a lot of paganism, so I would never join. You know what I mean? I would just go for the fellowship. And then later on down the line, a brother of mine, a good brother of mine, was telling me. He said, "Man, you know we the because his uncles used to always tell him, you know, we the real Israelites." And I remember, man, I used to argue with this dude, bro. Man, you tripping, bro? We come from the seed of Ham, bro. No, man, no.
What? You used to argue about it. You used to fight it. Like, no.
Bro,
We not the people. You used to, wow.
I would listen. I'm talking about, bro. I was a Bible thumper, bro. So I was like, I thought I had it, bro. I had even baptized this dude in the name of Jesus and everything. So when he was coming at me, like we had went camping one time, he just kept talking. I'm like, bro, what are you what are you on, bro? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And he was just telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, nah, man, like, you tripping. So we have fell out. I used to send this dude all kinds of scriptures, bro. Galatians, Romans. I'm sending him all these scriptures, bro. And he
I
was
noticed
like,
it. I noticed they were from Paul too. I noticed. No
oh,
shots fired at Paul, but I noticed they were from Paul.
yeah, you
You say
know it.
Ephesians and Romans.
Yeah, you know it. I mean, that's Christians go to. That's their defense. The letters of Paul. Even though Paul is speaking Torah, they don't understand his words. So I'm doing the same thing. I just didn't understand, bro. So I'm doing this for like months, bro, to the point where this guy was like, "Man, stop talking to me, bro." He was like, "Look," he said, "Don't call me no more, bro. Just, man, be what you own. If that's what you own, that's what you own." And then later on, I would say like maybe a month or two later, me and my wife was at the house, and that's when I seen the brother Yahusha video. I don't know how Yahuwah brought that to me. I don't know how I was scrolling or whatever, but that video come up, and I just started watching it, and it just all clicked, bro. And I had to call that dude and apologize. The first person I wanted to call was him because I remember he was telling me this, but the video, it brought the visual to me. Because when he was trying to explain it to me, I was like, nah, because I've been taught we was from the seed of Ham for so long, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so when he said just talk about it, I didn't receive it or get it. But the video was like the second witness that I needed. You know what I mean? And so just seeing the video, man, and me and my wife, we just looked at each other and we just started praising. We just started like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? We just was thinking like Abba Yahuwah brought us to another part of what we need to get to. You know what I mean? We still not all the way there, but he was revealing more truth to us. You get it? So that was my first time actually coming into the walk. And I don't know, I think maybe about 7-8 years ago. You know what I mean? So I know that was a long drawn out story, but that's what brought me here to this point.
That was powerful. You dropped exclusive information that I haven't heard before.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to your music. I listen. I support your music.
I appreciate
I haven't
that.
heard that before. Wow, that was some exclusive information. Thank you for bringing that
Anybody,
out. And you're a powerful storyteller, man.
man, anybody who knows me knows, man, I have a serious testimony. Like serious when I'm talking about, like, there's nothing nobody could tell me right now to make me believe Yahuwah doesn't exist, because the stuff I had to go through to get here. You know what I mean? All the times he saved me, all the times that he's showed me that he was there when I was even living in an apartment. It's like he allowed certain things to happen for me to see, like, man, I'm the one that's keeping you. I'm the one that's keeping you alive and breathing. Just all the times I was gonna do something wrong, I would hear his voice like, don't do it. You know what I mean? I would just, before, it was crazy because when I was in the world, I would never hear him like that. But I just started hearing him speak, and I'm like, dang, bro, that's crazy. And so that's why I tell people now, man, Yahuwah's there. He's watching everything we do. You know what I mean? And but he was really just protecting me, man. And I really appreciate him for that, man, for real. But that's what got me to this point, bro.
Now, do you remember the name of that video that you saw?
With Brother Yerushalayim?
That's the name of the video?
Oh, it was called The Hidden Identity of the Blacks in America.
Okay.
And they kept on
It's
like,
on that's on YouTube. We can find. Was it on YouTube when you saw it? Like, where did you see it?
Send you the link. I can send you the link to it. It's, if they they took that boy video down so many times and other people just reposted it. A lot of people know that video, but it was called The Hidden Identity of the Blacks in America. And I watched it, man, and it was like a game changer, bro. It was a game changer. And although I didn't know, you know, the whole truth when I came into the walk, you know, I still was kind of in a way religious because I was thinking like, dang, you know, um, it's about wearing the fringes and doing this and doing, you know, and now it was so much about the culture and genealogy that Yahuwah had to deal with me later on. And that was another part of I had to, it's, you know, how he takes you from esteem to esteem. And I was so happy to be in that truth that, you know, you start kind of boasting it, you know what I mean? And Yahuwah had to show us like, nah, you know, focus on me. It's about me. And this is what he's trying to tell his people. And so I think a lot of times, man, we get so caught up in the genealogy of it, we kind of lose the fact that it's about a heart change. You know, Torah is supposed to be in our heart. You know what I mean? So, um, although we still keep the law and we do what he instructed us to do, but it's still more to it than just keeping the law. You know, we got to keep his word in our hearts. You know, Barak Yahuwah.
Well said. Now, this is just a sidebar right here.
Mm-hmm.
Ema, this is our Ema right here. This is our mother right here.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Ema Bithia says, I raised my son in LA. I never let him wear red or blue.
Uh huh.
Another comment right here.
Yeah.
I lived in LA for years. However, I was born in the Bay, and because I am originally from the Bay, I guess home turf.
Right.
Black Storm Ministry says, "Yay area."
Yeah.
Just showing some
I
love to some of the comments here.
Yeah, I see one of the sisters say, "Brother Yerushalayim, he's no longer in it." Yeah, I seen that too, which is sad. You know, um, it's sad, but you know, it's from esteem to esteem. But I think, you know, I think back on even the first person that brought me to Jesus. You know, I remember talking to this one dude and it brought me to about the Shabbat. Yahuwah can use anybody. You know what I mean? He uses people, and some people that he uses, and you could even check this biblically. He has used people that has turned away from him, you know, to bring other people. You know what I mean? So it's I just thank God Yahuwah because it's really not them, it's Yahuwah. They're just vessels. You know what I mean? Some people gonna remain and some people gonna fall away. But at that moment that they was used, Barak Yahuwah, all the same to Yahuwah. So your
King
brother, your
Cyrus,
time, I
yeah,
would say,
King Cyrus was a Mashiach. He was a Mashiach. He was a
right,
Messiah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I look at it like, man, Yahuwah, he controls everything. The good and the evil. He controls it. So Barak Yahuwah for that video coming out at that time, because you know that's what I can say honestly swayed me to like, okay, I believe, like, wow, I believe, you know, just that one video, man, along with what my brother was already telling me, the second witness, the first witness actually. So Barak Yahuwah.
All praises. Now let's shift to your music. Let's go ahead and I'd like to discuss your music and your films. Um, tell us about you know like what is your inspiration for making music? Uh, go ahead and elaborate about your spiritual transformation
Mm-hmm.
and um, and tell us how your journey involved. And if you'd like to go ahead and elaborate on your first album too, was it Humble Roots? Was that your first album in the truth?
Yes, and the truth. Yeah, I used to do music when I was in high school. We used to have a little crew when I was like in 11th grade. And we used to ditch school, man, and we used to rap. We thought we was gonna be famous. You know what I'm saying? Run around LA on the buses, you know, ditching school, man, rapping, freestyling. A buddy of mine used to have a 4 track, so we used to make songs. And that's when I first had the love to rap, you know what I mean? Um, and then, you know, later on in life I was still writing music and stuff as I got older, and it was interesting because Yahuwah never allowed anything to come to fruition. I thought I was gonna be a big rapper, you know what I'm saying? I remember I ended up meeting this guy that was these two white guys that was producing for Tupac at the time called Soul Shock. The name was Soul Shock in Harlan, and they had took me under their wing and they was trying to get me signed, using their
Wow.
beats, stuff like that, and Yahuwah never allowed that to happen. You know, photo shoots and all this stuff. He never allowed it to happen, and I know why. I know why now. He never allowed me to get into that industry. And I think right that time I probably was in my early 20s, but it never happened. And I had the gift of writing music. I had a love for it, so I would just do it as a hobby. And whenever I could make songs or whatever like that. But then when I became a Christian, that's when Became Humble started. When I was a Christian, I used to do a lot of shows. A lot of people now, they think I don't do shows. I mean, I don't now. I haven't did shows since I've been in the truth. But as a
Wow,
Christian artist,
became Humble Films started when you was a Christian?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I got videos. Man, that I got muted on my channel that I did in Christianity that I mute because I don't want to confuse anybody. But I still keep them as to see like the growth. You know what I mean? So yeah, I used to shoot videos. I started shooting videos for brothers and sisters, man, that was Christians. We used to perform at this church in the hood called Club Judah. So the lady would open it up every like Saturday night, and we were it was in the inner city, right on Manchester, and it was Manchester and Normandy, and we would just do shows for them for free, come and perform for all the youth in the neighborhood. So it's like different gangs and the youth and people come minister to them, and it was like that went on for some years, and that was really cool, man. So then I was doing shows at a lot of churches and stuff, and I had started, like I said, doing Christian music, shooting videos and stuff, and I actually was interesting as I started shooting videos because I couldn't afford to get videos shot, and so I remember hearing about a guy named Eshawn Burgundy, which was crazy because Eshawn Burgundy used to shoot videos, and I found out like he used to shoot videos for people that were bigger names in the Christian community, and so
And
I
this is
took
when he was this when he was a Christian?
yeah when he was a Christian
Eshawn Burgundy? This when he was a
yeah
Christian back in.
he still shoots his own videos. Him and his children now, they shoot his own videos. So I always kind of was like, dang, I was intrigued by that. So I remember buying a camera, and I would just shoot videos for brothers that I knew at the time. And like I said, I got some of their videos on my page. I don't unlock it. It's private. But yeah, I used to shoot videos, and that's when Became Humble started. It was just Became Humble Films. I was just, I just wanted to serve, you know what I mean? Whatever way I could. And I remember just serving the community in that way, like, oh, I just shoot you guys some free videos or whatever, give me donations or whatever. And it was kind of like that. And that's when I started. And then when I came into the truth, though, the same guy that told me we was Israelites, he was like, man, you should start rapping again, bro. He was like, and I'm like, nah, man, I ain't about to rap, bro. You crazy? You're like, nah, man, I'm telling you, bro, your stuff back in the day was good, man. And da. He used to always tell me, like, man, you need to rap, bro. I'm telling you, bro, like, you need to start. So I didn't listen to him. So I remember one time I was at home, and I remember, and I'm following Yahuwah now. And I remember being in my room. I think I was in my bed or something, and I heard Yahuwah tell me to write. I heard him tell me to write, bro. I heard him tell me to write, and I'm like, so I started writing. I think one of the first songs I wrote was actually Broken. That wasn't the first. That wasn't the first video I shot, but that was the first, I think, song I written. It's first or second like that.
Wow.
Second song I wrote. I think no, the first one was I forgot the name of the song. That was like the second song I written. Broken. Yeah. And Yahuwah had gave me the idea for the video, everything years before we even put the video out. You know what I'm saying? So it was like all him. And so when I heard him like a second witness, then I just started writing songs. And I still, at this point, I didn't know that I was gonna actually shoot videos. At this point, I was just gonna just write songs. I didn't know what he was gonna do with them. I just started writing the songs. And then it just went from, finding somebody to shoot videos, and it just, I don't know, he just kept on adding on as I kept trusting in what he was telling me to do, and until where we are right now.
Hey, that's great that you kept the songs that you did while you were a Christian. In my
Hmm.
opinion, that's part of your story. That's
Right.
part of your journey that Yah took you on. So I think that's great that you have it in the archives. But wow, I
Right.
did not know that became Humble Films started while you was a Christian.
Yeah, that started when I was a Christian, man, like years before. And I just Yahuwah gave me the name, and you know, it stuck with me because in order to like, it's like he was showing me, in order to be with him, you got to become humble. You gotta, and that's just putting down everything you think you know, and just laying everything at his feet, and just becoming humble, like really be humble, like to be able to be taught. You know, I met people in the past that, and even in Christianity, when I came out and came to the truth, and I thank Abba Yahuwah, because when I came into the truth, like I seen myself in certain people. Like when I would try to tell them, man, it was like they were so prideful, like, bro, nah, you know what I'm saying? And so I really believe that you know, Yahuwah has to release the scales off your eyes to see, and then off your hearts to soften, and your ears so you can really hear. Because if not, man, you'd be stuck, bro. And I was there, and I see a lot of people like that in Christianity. No matter what you say, you could tell them, show them scriptures, all this stuff, and they just don't get it. And so I thank Abba Yahuwah for allowing me to be set free to truth, because a lot of people are not able to see, man, or hear, you know.
I gotta say, shout out to your friend that brought you into the truth. Shout
Yeah,
out to your partner for dropping that seed. And
yeah,
I just like to say, I gotta give him credit for that. And yeah,
yeah.
you followed up on that. But you know, we gotta drop that seed. As the
Hallelujah.
children of Israel, we gotta drop the seed.
Right, right, Barak Yahuwah.
All right. So, and down the stretch we come. So we wrapping up. So let's go ahead and let's talk about. Well, let me go ahead and show you the first video that I saw of yours. Just this is for me right here. I like to show you. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Yes,
This
sir.
was back in. This is when I was like young in the truth. I was like, I just came in the truth, and I
Mm-hmm.
was looking for music to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
This the video right here.
Mm-hmm.
This video was a game changer for me. Let me go ahead and I'm not going to play it because I want everybody to see it. I might play a clip, but I'll mute it or whatever, or however you want me to do it. That way to be respectful. But I want people to check out this video right here. Right here. 1070 times 7. Right here. This video right here.
Toda Abba, all praises to you, Abba Yahuwah. Hallelujah. King Yahusha. Yes.
Chris Q, play that beat again.
Told the Abba to give her life for this fallen tree. I say connected, you promise my leaves forever green. I know forever seen.
All right, y'all. Y'all got to check out the rest of the video. That's a snippet. But that video right there, that was the one that did it for me. That I was just new coming into the truth. I want to say this was 2020. I think it was around 2020. And when I seen this video, it was on constant replay. I played this on the Shabbat, constantly was playing this song
Barak Yahuwah.
right here. So I just wanted to show you. This was a song right here. This was my first introduction to your music.
Barak Yahuwah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you know, this is this is around the time, man, when they started like catching on to me, man. You know, it's interesting, bro, because and I say this a lot, but it's expected, man. But ever since I came out, bro, when I first came out, it was like floating under the radar, the music. And I think what made them catch on to me faster, when I mean them, is like the government, was me putting the videos out and the quality I was putting them out at, and the amount of time I was putting them out. You know what I mean? It was catching a lot of people. I was getting hit up from like all over the world. And man, the government came after me big time, bro. Like even now, like after all these years, um, you know, these videos probably should have millions and millions of views, but they purposely started shadow banning me, bro, and it's been like that ever since. Like they started they started restricting me. All the platforms I've been on, you know what I mean? They just took down my Facebook page like a few weeks ago, for no reason, but they said hate speech. You know, like I had like 5,000 followers on there. They took it down.
That's Facebook. I've heard the same story from other brews and,
Yeah,
and people who are not even in the awakening, but they're on consciousness. People who speak about consciousness
yeah,
and the awakening, they've been blocked by Facebook or
yeah,
Meta.
yeah,
Man,
and
sorry to hear that though.
yeah, YouTube is the same. YouTube is the same, bro. They've dropped our views. I mean, I've had people hit me up that don't know me, like they subscribe to my channel like a gang of times, bro. One of my brothers subscribed to my channel like 5 times. They keep kicking them off. I heard people say the same thing, like, "Yeah, I'm subscribed to you, bro," but then they kick me off. So yeah, they control the whole. They try to control the narrative so people wouldn't be interested in supporting the music. Because when I first came out, I was just putting videos out, and it was like it was going. And then they just started trying to slow it down. So they do the same thing on Instagram because that's kind of ran by Facebook, and TikTok is the same. So that's why I love when I show so much love to the people, because they keep me going. It's the only reason why I keep doing the music, because the people like that love the music, and it just giving them something to think about Yahuwah, because it ain't about me at all. All this thing to Yahuwah, and that's the reason why I started doing the music in the first place. So, you know, even when people go back and look at this video, I always tell people, just make sure you share. Know what the battle we face when we try to do this type of music. You know, we get like so much opposition, man. We've seen them take thousands of views off our videos overnight. You know what I'm saying? Just removing them. You know, they my last album I put out last year, because I've been putting out, I got 6 albums out. The last album I put out, they banned it in like so many countries. It's banned in like over probably 12 countries, bro. Um,
Hold on, whoa. I want everybody to catch that one more again.
mhm,
Your recent album got banned in 12 countries.
mhm.
Oh man.
They threatened to take it down.
Oh,
Um, they had threatened to take it down when I first put it up. Um, and then they sent me like some email saying it was banned. It was banned in like so many countries, bro. And I'm like, this is crazy, bro. And it's they just want to silence us, bro. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy because you see a lot of the Christians when they do their music and stuff, they be, man, they control the opposition. So, you know, they'll let them flourish. But when we're the real truth artists speaking the truth, they don't want people to really get into it and know, you know what I mean? Because it's hurting what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? They're trying to indoctrinate people a certain way. And so the music is like a monkey wrench. So yeah, and you know, I got an album that I'm getting ready to drop maybe next month or the month after that, called Seven. It's my 7th album, so the album is named Seven. Um,
wow.
yeah, it's named Seven, so that means completion. So it could be my last album. I don't know. Uh,
Oh no. Don't tell me you're gonna hang it up. You're gonna retire.
I don't know, man. I mean, I would keep doing it until who would tell me to stop. But it's my 7th album, so I mean,
Well, check this out. Check this out. Just for, I'll just throw this out there, and I don't know, see if it lands somewhere. Well, if
uh,
you do an 8th album, that would be Abundance or a New Beginning.
and Barack Yahuwah, man, you know, look, you know, whatever Yahuwah leads me, you know, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I will never stop if he tells me to keep going. So I enjoy shooting the videos, man. I just shot a video for Yom. He got a album coming out. Um, it's supposed to be at the end of this month, but I'm not sure. He might put it out next month. I'm not sure. But we shot a nice video for him. I did the whole edit on it, and so it's a pretty cool video. So yeah, I enjoy doing that as well as writing songs. I wanted to do some, you know how we talk about testimonies. I wanted to do some in regards to just interviewing people in the walk and the truth, not just musicians, but everybody, you know, and just interviewing them and talking about their testimony and how they actually came to Yahuwah. I think that would be very interesting. I just never got the time to do it because I'm so busy working, but I would love to do that someday, you know.
It's a need. It's a need. As
Hmm.
the children of Yisrael, Yasharala, Yashrael, we gotta come together and we
Yeah,
gotta build relationships, and
yeah, we
that
do.
is needed. And yeah, I like to see more of that. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I know that you're extremely busy, but that's something that we have to do. We have to build our community. We have to come
Right,
together. We have to
right.
put our differences to the side too, because we got a lot of differences as brews for sure. But I tell people this all the time: let's agree to
Mhm.
disagree. Let's
Right,
just and then let's just build on the things that we do agree on. I
right.
mean, so we got so many differences, but with this song right here, I just wanted to say this one right here, man, it gave me chills. Like this that was the one.
10, 7 times 7, man. And you know,
Yeah.
I probably listen to it enough to know what that means. You know, um, you know, if what he say? If someone sinned against you, how many times should you be forgiven?
Yahusha,
But yeah,
forgiveness. Hmm.
yeah. So it's just being forgiven, man, and showing forgiveness. You know what I mean? Being long suffering, man. So rock Yahuwah. Because everything is inspired by him. You know, every time I write, I ask him, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? Give me the words to say. And he always does, man. He never lets me down. So Barak Yahuwah. You know, we just vessels, man. Whether we witnessing, whether we writing songs, you know, meet people on the street, is all Yahuwah. All this thing to Yahuwah, you know.
Wow, wow. Baruch Hashem. Yes, yes. Barak Yahuwah. All praises. All right, so let's talk about Became Humble Films.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the vision and the artists. You spoke about the vision a little bit. You touched upon it. You started while you were a Christian, but let me go ahead and bring up the website because we are coming to a close.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yes, yes. That way they can go directly to your website and they can tap into your music. All right, fam. So right here.
Mm. Yeah, that's the last album they got banned. that's a, that's the last album, and it's a
Wow,
pretty.
this one right here. This the band album right here.
That's the band album right there. They was. I'm telling you, they said they're gonna take it down, man, and they left it up, but they like I said, they only kept it in certain countries, man. So you know, a lot of people can't even hear it, man, unless they go to my website. So
And you can find it right here, family. Right here. Yes, yes. Just wanted to show everybody where they can find Became Humble music. It's the new album, Living Testimony.
that's last year's album. The new album is 7. It's coming out in about a month or so. But all the albums are on there. Yeah.
Ancient Path, Humble Roots, All Glory.
And I remember you said you were gonna ask me about humble roots, man, and what does that mean? And that's like just being rooted to um being rooted to uh I would say to his how you say the meek shall inherit the earth, and just being humble, man, humbly rooted to Yahuwah, like so you won't get puffed up because it's easy to do music and think start thinking you somebody. I used to see that a lot in Christianity where people actually start feeling themselves, man, on stage, and I think that's a part of why I don't do shows now. I just do the music and give it away because it's not about me, it's about Yahuwah. And And I'm not against doing shows. You know what I mean? I'm sure eventually I might, maybe one day if the time is right or whatever, you will give me permission. But I seen a lot of wicked fruit come out of even performing. You know what I mean? Because you could become puffed up, and it's not for that. It's to edify Yahuwah, not yourself. So, um, and I think that rubs people the wrong way because I get invited to a lot of places, and I kindly be declining because I just I like doing the music and just giving it to the people, man. That's my biggest. I feel like that's my mission, like just to give them something to listen to, for their mind could be fixed on Yahuwah all the time. You know, I'm nothing special at all. I'm nothing special. So, we all.
Family, this album right here is banned in 12 countries, but it's not banned on BecameHumbleFilms.com. BecameHumbleFilms.com. Make
Yeah.
sure that you cop this album, family. Living Testimony. This is Demetric Pruitt's, Anuahyahu's recent album. New album, family. All praises. I got okay. I got a quick testimony. It's really short. It's really short.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The video broken.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I cried during that one. Yeah, man. And I don't like to cry. I don't cry. I don't know. I rarely cry, but
Right.
that video, it got me to crack. So I just
Hallelujah.
wanted to share that with you. Thank
Yeah.
you, and I feel no type of way for that, but thank you
Yeah.
though.
No,
I don't like showing weakness. But that
hey,
video,
that's the
just
problem.
the song, the music, like the beat, the way how you rapped on it, the directing, the end, especially the end, like when we was all like wearing in the white, when we was all wearing the white garments and waving the flag, man, that got me.
Yeah, man, and I think that video got me a lot of hate too, man, because people, it's interesting, man, because that's when I wrote that song. I wrote it some years before we put that out, and so Yahuwah gave me the idea for the video. Like I said, years before we put it out, it was so crazy, man. He gave me, and the way it came out is how Yahuwah told me it was gonna come out, bro. I promise you, bro. Like he told me half of it was gonna be like this, with white, and half of it was gonna be like. And man, I remember giving the idea to the guy who shot it, and we just had to execute it. And the people that I was fellowship with at the time, they all came together, man, and we would just but Yahuwah put it all together, man, just so the nation will have something to see that would inspire them, you know what I mean, to motivate them, like, this is where we were, and this is where we will be if you trust in Yahuwah, you know what I mean. And so that's what he was trying to convey to the people, like, we all come from a place where we was stuck in darkness, man, or just wilding, you know what I'm saying, eating pork. I remember I used to eat pork and all that crazy stuff, and just showing that in the video, you know what I mean, showing the hot dog wrapped in bacon and all, you know what I'm saying, yeah, you know what I mean, and just giving them the visuals. And I think it means a lot. That meant a lot to see that. I think I cried when I seen that too, man. When I seen the final like video when he sent it to me, I was like, dang, bro. Like a couple of videos I've received after we shot them actually brought tears to my eyes. Signs of the Times did too. It brought tears to my eyes. I was like, dang, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so very, very inspiring.
Ema Bithia says, crying is not a weakness. Yah put it in you. Thank you, Ema. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Yeah. You got me. You got me on that one.
No, man, she's absolutely right, man. I think a lot of times, and Yasharal, man, we are supposed to be masculine and not feminine, but it's not feminine to cry, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I did a song where I'm talking about every time I write a song in regards to my parents, my dad, rest in peace, man, I cry, bro. It gets me, like, it's hard to even get through it. When I wrote the song, um, Black Love, it took me forever to write the song because my dad when I started writing it, he was already dying. He had cancer. So he had passed. And And I remember just trying to write the song. It was hard, man. It was hard, bro. And so anytime I write anything in regards to my parents or anything like that, man, it's just like, it's a minute to get through it, but there's nothing wrong. There's no weakness to cry, bro. David cried, you know what I'm saying? When his son Absalom died, he cried, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's no weakness, bro. That's actually showing strength and humility and love, bro. Like, I think a lot of times, I think we got it twisted. Like a lot of times, we associate certain things with softness. And long as I can remember, you know what I'm saying, and reading the script, Yahusha had another man lay his head on his chest. That was not weakness, or he was a full on man, you know what I'm saying? But I think we got a lot of things twisted, you know what I'm saying? And not saying that we're supposed to have men laying on our chest, not like that, but I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of times we Satan wants to cause people to be prideful and walk with their chest poked out, like that's being a man. And that's not, showing love and still being masculine at the same time. That's being a man. You know what I mean? Not I tell my brothers I love them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have to prove that to nobody. So at the end of the day, it's like, I think, when we cry, man, it's I've been on the phone with good brothers, and we've talked, and brothers cry to me on the phone, things they might be going to, and they full on know Yahuwah, families, everything, bro. But they men, you know what I'm saying? And it's good to let go sometime, bro. And like, sometimes we don't have those outlets. You feel what I'm saying? So the scripture says, "Woe to the man who's alone." So that's why we have family for. In the world, we didn't have those outlets. We didn't have, brothers I can lean on and say, I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that back then. So we
Yeah,
kind of get.
our so-called culture, they tell us not to do that because that's a sign of weakness. We've been taught wrong
Yeah,
by the media, and we've been guilty for drinking that Kool-Aid.
right.
Now, I like to say this: that "Sign of the Times" was the second video that I seen of yours. That's with El Ari. Did I say his name correct? El Ari.
Right. Yeah. We used to
El
we used to
Ari.
he used to live out here in LA.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to LRE. He used to live in LA for a few years, and we started fellowshipping because my children used to go to karate school with his children, and that's how we ended up meeting his wife at the time, introduced us, and so we became really cool. We would do the feast days and stuff together, and started. We always talked about doing music before it all came to fruition. We always talk about doing music and stuff like that. So when I got the opportunity to do some music, I had him get on one of the songs, and yeah, so that it came out really well for Anuahyahu.
All praises. Now, as we come down to the end, now
Mm-hmm.
I got to mention you got an all-star team at Became Humble
Yeah,
Films. That's an all-star team. You guys are loaded with talent.
right.
Man, would you like to go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So how I met everybody is interesting because I met Zoo. Well, I knew LRE, right? And so LRE moved back to Memphis, and he became really cool with Zoog, and they started. He introduced me to Zoog, and it's interesting because Zoog name means merger. He's the merger. You know what I mean? To merge people together, right? And so he introduced me to Yom. Yom was his childhood friend. Yeah, and so Yom mixed my whole second album, and that's how we became really cool. And I remember Yom was like, we was talking one time. Anybody, jumped on board, and because they used to be a part of my culture, and things was falling apart there. And so I remember Young was like, man, Abba Yahuwah was putting on my heart. He was like, man, to ask you, man, can I be a part of Became Humble? And I was like, what? I said, man, I just started. I got happy, bro. I was like, man, yes, bro, like absolutely, bro, like yeah. And I just got excited. And then of course when he came, then Zoo, and then my sister Tawab. I always tease my sis because You know, she's the girl of the group of the crew, and so she lives out here in LA. And so I always tease her, man, because she had hit up a gang of different rappers, man. She hit up a gang of different Hebrew rappers, won't say their name, and everybody was shunning her, man. Nobody gave her, nobody. Like, so I was the last person she called. So every time we joke, I'd be like, man, sis, I was like chopped liver, man. You called me when you try to connect with everybody else. And she's like, nah, bro. It wasn't like that. I said it was like that, you know what I'm saying? But you were here, and I just, you know, took her like under my wing like my little sister, man, and just looking out for her. And we've been family ever since, man. And everything is organic. Like I meet certain people, man, and periodically we do different. Like we might release a video or something if I hear somebody or I know somebody good enough to be like, man, I love that song, man. Let's do a video, because that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's no assemblies in the kingdom, bro. It's gonna be assembly, but it's gonna be one big assembly. It's not just sections of this and that. You know what I mean? So we all family. So, and like you said, man, put aside differences. So at the time when I met Tawab, she was in a camp. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and so, but I never looked at or doubted what Yahuwah was doing. I just look at it because I think sometimes what happens is we come into the truth, and we might be somewhere where they were. You know, we might be you know, ahead like 10 years. They might be where we was 10 years ago, right? That doesn't matter, right? You supposed to show love and be like, not judging them. Sometimes we be so quick to, no, man, you got, you know, and I don't think like that, man. And because I thank Al Yahuwah for the compassion he showed me with not knowing, not having all the truth. And he just kept loving me and to like just teaching me. And so we got to be like that because we never know where that person going to be 5 years from now. We never know where they're going to be unless they just willfully just, you know, just blatantly just trying to, you know, not serve you or whatever. But if they trying, bro, and you know, like what was the scripture where I think it's in John where the disciples seen a young man preaching in Yahusha's name, and they were like, "Oh man, you know, he's not doing it like us," and da 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 da. And Yahusha said, "Leave him alone." You know what I mean? Because he's basically paraphrasing. He's speaking in my name. He's not gonna lose his reward just because he's not doing it the way you think. Who are you? You get it? So I think a lot of times we gotta get out of that religious mindset of, you know, when I say religious, like a lot of us become so religious, man, that we don't receive people because we're so religious. We think we made it. You know what I mean? And that's not how we should be. We got to still show love and compassion. Because trust me, man, Yahuwah shows us compassion, bro. I remember even before I came into this walk, I was mad at a brother for something. And I remember being on the freeway driving, bro. And I remember I heard Yahuwah voice tell me, said, "You must be as long suffering of him as I am of you." And I said, dang, I just started crying, bro. I started sobbing, bro. Because I was thinking, like, dang, he right. He's been my whole life, he's been long suffering of me. And now this brother, I'm mad at this brother for something, and I'm just holding it against him. You know what I mean? Like, but we never think about ourselves. We never think about how Yahuwah is actually being long suffering of us and the things that we might not be laying at his feet. You get what I'm saying? So we got to be more compassionate and show love at the same time. Not just you can't accept everything, of course, you know what I mean, or breaking bread, unbelievers and doing all, but at the same time, you still got to show love and compassion for those who are trying to serve Yahuwah. You know what I mean? And just, you know, because, you know, we plant and we water. We don't get the increase. Yahuwah gives the increase, right? So he gives the increase. So we don't determine how fast that plant should grow. Long as we keep on watering it, you know what I mean? It's gonna grow. Yahuwah gonna get an increase if they willing, you know what I mean? So you just gotta be willing. The person gotta be, and also you gotta be willing too, to be long suffering. And sometimes we give up so fast. You know what I mean? Like, um, Barak Yahuwah.
Wow. All glory, all praises.
All
Wow.
this.
Wow. All right. So now, word association. I sent you this question. I sent you the questions. I don't know if you looked into it, but this is a word association game.
I was
So I'm
rushing
going to
home.
name.
Uh-huh.
Oh, go ahead. What was that? Go ahead. Say that again.
I was rushing home. I breezed through it, but I was rushing home on the freeway, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
But you,
kind of a lot. I know it was
yeah,
kind of a lot though. So I apologize for that. It was kind of lengthy, but I wanted you just to show you those questions up ahead of time. So,
yes, sir.
but yes. Here's a word association game. So I'm
Mhm.
going to say a name, and you're going to give us a word or a quick thought that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You ready? You ready?
I hope so.
All right. All right. Here we go. I hope so too. All right. Here we go. Kendrick Lamar.
You said Kendrick Lamar? You said Kendrick Lamar? A talented brother, man, that uh I don't know anything bad. I mean, I know bad I can say, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like to put people down because, I pray for the brother's soul, man. I just pray for his soul. But as far as the talent he has, is so many people in the world that has a lot of talent. You know what I mean? That respectfully, I could respect the gift that you will put in them, but they could be using it for reasons, and so I don't respect that. But he's a definitely gifted, like, with what's poured into him, but um, the message is not. And I just could speak plainly, man, because you have to be bold, man. The message is not from Yahuwah, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't sugarcoat it, bro. Like, the message is not from Yahuwah, and it's a lot of times people get deceived because um, they want to see things as so tangible that, oh man, this person from the hood, and they speaking positive, but if you really look at it, bro, it's not. And Yahuwah had to show me this, because I remember I used to look up to Tupac, man. I used to be like, man, and I could be rambling, but I used to look up to Tupac a lot when I was young, bro. And Yahuwah used to tell me to stop listening to his music. He kept telling me, man, I was like addicted to listening to Tupac music and stuff. And what he was showing me is that it's an influence that they have, that they influence his children, just like we say those proselyte, they can influence a child to do wrong. Now, even though Kendrick is quote unquote supposed to be saying positive stuff, if you had the Ruach of Yahuwah, you would see the words are not Yahuwah. You know what I mean? It's not from Yahuwah. So you got to make a distinction, and the distinctions are being made in this, even for us to see. Like, because one thing I can say about our people, we so accepting of everything. This man put a crown of thorns on his head. Blasphemy. You feel me? And so I can only speak the truth. I love the brother. I can't call him a brother. I don't wish no harm upon him. I wish that he would fully repent. But he's made a lot of deals with the enemy. And so that's what we gotta. I mean, us as Yahshua, we gotta come to grips with that. Um, we're gonna see a lot of people fall, and before Yahusha come, and we're gonna see people that we thought with you, and then they're gonna come. So we're gonna see both sides, but we cannot accept things that are copycats. If that makes sense. Satan is doing a job of trying to deceive our people. You know, um, and if the world, like Scripture says, if the world loves you, then something's wrong with that, right?
That's a good point. That's a
Kendrick
good
Lamar
point.
he would not be who he is if he was rapping about Yahuwah for real, which music means praise. Our music is supposed to be only praise to Yahuwah, not anything else. Bringing awareness to Yahuwah, all the things to Yahuwah. That's why I say all the things to Yahuwah, because the music is not supposed to bring people to myself or who I am as a Kendrick Lamar, but more so to who Yahuwah is. And unless you're doing that, you're not working for Yahuwah. You're working for the adversary. And yeah, that might be a little long-winded, but Barak Yahuwah.
Appreciate it, King. All right,
Yes,
yes. Yeah, there's several names. So yeah, let's go ahead and get through these names now. So, okay. Yahoo and Deborah from Watchmen reports.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't. You know, I used to hear the elders say this before. I don't know anything bad or good. I mean, I know that they I can't say good because I know that they preach Yahuwah on their channel. I don't watch it too often, but I can't speak against them because, you know, I don't know anything. I really don't watch them. I could just say, man, Yahuwah Barak them. I mean, if they're brothers and sisters in the walk, I just haven't met them or know too much on them to even comment on them. You know what I mean? I just say Barak Yahuwah. I kind of stay out the way. I fellowship with the people I fellowship with. I don't really know too much about them. I remember back in the day, I watched a video on that they put together years ago. Was it what was it? The Whiting Out, something like
Oh
that.
yeah, the documentary White It Out series.
Right. And that was very informative and stuff like that. But I can't say anything, speak any bad about them. But just many blessings to them. I don't know them.
Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
glory. Okay. Vocab Malone. I say that because he's a rapper too.
Vocab Malone, who is
Vocab
that?
Malone.
I don't know who that is. Is he
Oh,
true?
no. He's a Christian rapper. He's really known for his like he's a Christian apologist. He likes to debate us Israelites. He likes to debate.
Oh,
He likes to misrepresent us. You've probably seen him around. You might have seen him around, but I was looking for some humor, so I was just wondering your
oh,
opinion on him,
yeah.
respectfully. Not trying to be messy, but I was just wondering what you thought of him as a rapper.
No. I don't. Man, I don't know. I'm like I don't know, man. Sometimes I say I'm an old dinosaur because, man, I get, sometimes, man, I don't even listen to music when I'm driving, bro. To be honest with you, I'll be praying and talking to my wife, man, and sometimes I do listen to music. I'll be pushing, like today I was writing a song all day while driving. But I try. I don't know. I don't keep up with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So so some of the names I might not know who these people are. To be honest with you, because I'm not like I don't get into debates with people. If I have seen him and seen that he was on some foolishness, most likely I probably changed it. You know what I mean? I think our people shouldn't get caught up in certain things and foolish debates and conversations with people because certain people, man, have ruachs on them that's all they want to do. And so us as knowing the truth, it's a gift, man. To know, it's a gift for the scales to be off our eyes, and you know what I mean. Like I was saying earlier, that's a gift. So with somebody that don't have understanding, I think at times you just pray for them because, um, that's only Yahuwah could take that off somebody's eyes, bro. So going back and forth with people, I try not to do. Um, I had that happen to me before doing Uber. I remember talking to this one guy about he was a Christian, man. And that's a strong drug, bro. That Christianity is a strong drug, bro.
Woo! Tell me about it.
Oh,
Christianity's a heck of a
my
drug.
God. That is the strongest drug. That's a strong drug, man. And so after that, I'm get home, exchange number with this guy. We're going over the word, and it's like every time we talked, it was like a debate. And he was doing this. I was doing to my boy Yehuda back in the day, sending me all these scriptures, bro. And then he got to the point where he was insulting me, you know, um, and a lot of times with Christians, they insult you with the black Israelite thing. I'm like, bro, I don't even claim to be that, like how you saying. They always think about the people on the street corners and stuff. I don't I don't, you know, I love all my brothers, even those who stand on the street corner, but I don't stand out on street corners and yell at people and all that.
Agree. Same here. Same here. I'm all about peace, love, and unity. I say that for everybody, and everybody's welcome here. But yes, I promote love for everybody. I do love our community. I want to see us come together, but I believe that salvation is for everybody. And yeah, I'm not into the whole debate thing. I mean, I'd rather teach. I'd rather just like share information, and a person, whether if they want to accept it or not, that's on them. But I'm not a master debater, and there's too many of those out there.
It's so many.
There's so too many master debaters.
It's a waste of time, man. We could be actually talking to people that really have an ear to hear. You know what I mean? Like where we sitting debating, and I think people get puffed up with, oh yeah, I won that debate. Okay, what did that bring you? Did it gain you any fruit? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, what was Yah glorified? Did you glorify Yah, or did you glorify yourself because you thought you won?
Right. They esteem themselves and just having knowledge, and you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with having knowledge and wisdom, but you got to use it in the right way, not to boast yourself up on a pedestal, but to, really, share and teach, but not to the point where you debating people and you just want to bring esteem to yourself and want to be seen. A lot of people want to be seen, so they wants to teach nowadays, so.
All right. A few more names. We're gonna get through them. So, yes, your wife and kids.
And my wife, she's right here cooking. I would say, well, Yahuwah is the reason why I live, and he's what I live for. But he's put my family here as, this is like who I take care of, and I want to make it home to Yahuwah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, the head of this house, and like, I believe that if you try to be righteous, that Yahuwah will bless you with a righteous woman. So, and I thank Abba Yahuwah for the gift he has given me, my wife and my children, because in a way, like, it brings fulfillment to me to push me to keep going, working and doing the things I do. It keeps me going, man. I couldn't imagine not having my family. But I would say, like, I thank Abba Yahuwah for the health and the understanding he's given me to give to my family and my children. It's a true blessing, because my children home, they're homeschooled. I mean, they don't go to. I learned the hard way with my two boys, but my children home, they are homeschooled. They don't.
I gotta salute you. Gotta salute. This is a ghetto shofar, but we'll roll with it. I don't have a shofar, so wow, your kids are homeschooled. Well, yeah. I was homeschooled. I had to go to the public school education system.
Me too.
Wow.
Me too. Yeah, me too. It's pros and cons to it, but it's way more pros than cons, I would say. The school systems are so messed up in regards to, they want to indoctrinate our children to the point where our children don't know us, or just act like they don't know us, and we can't teach them. You know what I mean? So it's so important for people to, if they have the opportunity, just homeschool your children, keep them out of these organizations that try to indoctrinate our children. Because, our jobs here are to make sure that they keep living on Yahuwah's name throughout the years. And I think what was going on is Yahuwah is not being preached in some of the households. And so as the children get older, they don't know Yahuwah. I've seen that even the Christian men going and just asking random people like about Bible scriptures, and nobody know any Bible scriptures, bro. Like, none. You know what I'm saying? And so and think about the youth. They push so much stuff on them, and these entertainers, football, basketball, these entertainers, and nobody knows Yahuwah, bro. So the big thing is just, Satan's job is just to make people not bring esteem to Yahuwah's name, and to remember and to put him on the pedestal. And you see that in the movies, you see it on the TV shows. Lucifer name on everything. He wants to be exalted. a lot of these celebrities, most of them serve you Satan. You know what I'm saying? And so our job is to make sure our children remember Yahuwah, taking them to these feast days, reading with them, letting them remember. You know what I mean? And that's what it means to be set apart. So we have a great opportunity, and it's not the easiest thing to do because they try to make it hard for us. Look, I work, I work to the point where sometimes I be like, man, I want to just go home and be with my family, but dang, I'm at work so much. You know what I mean? So they try to make it hard for us to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And spend time with our children. And the way everything is going, everything is so expensive, especially out here in California. But everything is supposed to be free, man. We supposed to be living with everything free. Everything. Who in charge to to charge people for water and all? Like how did this go happen? But it's
Yeah, in
basically,
the Bay Area, they was charging for bags. They're charging, I'm trying to remember, it was like 40 cents for a bag or something like that. For a grocery bag.
yeah, same thing out here, bro. So
Yeah, yeah.
they charge for everything I'm talking about, but it keeps us so busy that they want us to lose heart. And you know how it says in Revelation, Satan wants to wear us down. He wants to wear us down, so we're not teaching our children no more. We're not, you know, teaching our children about Yahuwah and stuff like that. So we always got to test our children, have them read, you know what I mean, have them go over the commandments, you know what I mean, so they can remember, because we not always promised to be here. But I thank Abba Yahuwah for keeping us to be able to teach our children, because when they have children, they could teach their children about Yahuwah. You know what I mean? And they will be a rarity. You know what I mean? And that's what you want. So
Wow, that was a beautiful answer. That was powerful, beautiful. All right, 3 more names, and then then we'll close after that.
okay.
Nipsey Hussle.
Um, being from LA, man, I can't be biased. You know what I mean? Nipsey Hussle from LA. Um, I don't like to say I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but being from LA, I think a lot of stuff, man, is kind of scripted in a way. Nipsey Hussle, I was watching this one video and to certain artists that they use. I don't know if you ever seen this movie back in the day called and how the government puts like certain people in the hoods, like agents, like from little children, and they grow up in the hood, and they
What was the name of the movie? What was the name of the movie again?
Salt. It's with
Salt.
Anna some Jolie or whatever the lady name is. I forgot her name.
Oh,
But
Angelina Jolie? Nah, I ain't seen that.
okay, so she's raised in Russia as a little baby girl, and it's a bunch of kids that they send into the United States to be agents, and so they train them
Wow.
be little killers, and then when they get older, they all in the government, working in the government, but when they get older, they like, we gonna sabotage the government. You get what I'm saying? They all like,
Mm.
so they got things in Coattail Pro where they've been doing this for a long time, where they choose certain people to come into the communities, and then they would use them as being like some type of black messiah. And if you have the Ruach of Yahuwah, you can see it, because even when Nipsey died, they was putting pictures with crowns of thorns on his head. I don't know what that's about. Same thing they did with Kendrick and other artists like Tupac. Uh,
Yes, yep. Absolutely.
into place to distract our young people to follow them instead of following Yahuwah. You know what I mean? Because we've been so lost for so long that that's what the whole thing is about. It's just distracting these people. We know the whole word is talking about us. So it's really, they're putting people in place to distract us from these sororities, from entertainment, from movies. Everything is to distract us from being close to Yahuwah. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, like, and, even the phones, I say this a lot, I still watch my phone, but still, it's like the cares of the world. We be looking on these phones and seeing everything over the world, what's going on in the world. We so nosy, right? And it's like the cares of the world going on. We just focus so much on that. It's a distraction. So many distractions around us. The movies, a lot of the things that Satan puts in front of us, and it's all entertainment. And so a lot of these artists are put in place to get the hearts of mankind. Like, so they'll have you thinking, oh yeah, this person was so in the community doing all these good things. But when you look at the backstory and look at the lyrics and listen to what they're talking about, you're still talking about gang banging, still talking about, you know what I mean, glorifying this and, you know, negativity. And so it's kind of like then your children would grow up with that. And so that, oh, it's okay. And then look at Nipsey Hussle. He was giving back to the hood. He was, you know what I mean? And so they aspire to be more like them, aspire to be like Yahusha. We supposed to aspire to be like Yahusha. We supposed to teach our children to aspire to be like Yahusha. So anytime I see an artist, I don't care if it's Denzel Washington, I don't care. And I love all these people. I love Nipsey Hussle. I don't have nothing against none of these people. But I try to speak the real. When it comes down to it, what are you doing for my people? What are you doing for Yahuwah? That's how I look at it. And I don't care what nobody thinks. You know what I mean? Because if a person is not bringing people to my Father, then you're not working for my Father. If you're not trying to educate them on who Yahuwah is, not on who you are and what you're doing for this hood over here, I don't care about none of that. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in many hoods. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, you know, people that act cool but still be ready to knock your head off. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't see so much. So at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to save our people is us returning to Yahuwah. We seen what happened when in these communities back in the day, Tuskegee, when
Oh,
they
yeah, the
bombed.
Tuskegee experiment.
Well, yeah, when everybody was like trying to do everything without Yahuwah, build communities without Yahuwah. We can't build communities without Yahuwah. And we've always done that. We've always tried to just leave Yahuwah out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and still in some way accept the world. And that's what's going on even in entertainment. They put these art in front of us, but they're just distractions. And you know, if the youth are not seeing someone try to tell them about their Heavenly Father in a righteous way and really the truth, then it's not sent from Yahuwah. And that's how we gotta look at it. You know, the few that are sent from Yahuwah are gonna be hated, man. Even the people in the truth are not gonna like them so much because it irritates them. And people don't admit this a lot, but it irritates, you know, the flesh to hear truth. You know what I mean? It really does, man. And so that's why you got to walk in the spirit, because if you're not walking in the spirit and somebody's really speaking truth to you, it's going to irritate you because you might be walking in the flesh. So a lot of times the flesh don't like to be corrected, right? And when Yahusha
Facts.
here on this earth, he was
Facts.
people, and you know, some would say he was like a smart aleck. You know, people I'm sure was like irritated by him because they were so used to walking the way they was walking, and he's sitting there and, you know, oh yeah, little faith, and you this, and be like, what? Who you think you are? You know what I'm saying? But he was speaking
Answer
nothing
the
but,
question with a question.
yeah, he was speaking nothing but
Call
truth.
you fools. You
Yeah,
fools.
you know, I remember seeing a brother
Fools.
when Kobe died. This is somebody I used to study with. I won't say his name, but somebody I used to study with. When Kobe died, he had made a post. Yeah, any of you Hebrews get on here talking about Kobe? Anybody say something, man, I'm blocking you right now. I'm blocking you. I don't want to hear nothing about Kobe. Da 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 da. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this dude going harder for Kobe, and I heard him go for Yahusha. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it wasn't wrong what he was saying, but a lot of people, when you start speaking the truth about some of these artists, that's what's hidden in their heart. You get what I'm saying? If it's not hidden in your heart, you won't be offended. Like if I say this about Kendrick, and I'm saying this in love, I would tell Kendrick to his face. You know what I mean? Have no listen to truth. We got to be able to be bold and speak the truth. People will get mad at me. That's Israelites in the community will get mad at me for saying this about Kendrick, right? Who you think you are, bro? This is the truth, man. Are you looking at this through the scripture, or are you in your feelings? You know what I'm saying? It's a hard thing, and this is the reason why so many people have to do that check. They gotta check themselves, man, because a lot of people that we think is cool, and man, bro, if they not serving Yahuwah, bro, you gotta try their fruit. The scripture says you gotta try their fruit. I don't care what, man. Satan to put people before us, man, And we thinking they so cool because they so good actors, or they can rap, or they can do. Yeah, they have talent. That don't mean nothing. We all have talent. Yahusha made all of us talented. We all have so much talent, bro. But some people use their vessels to serve the devil, bro. And that's just a fact. And it's subtle. But the subtlety of it is just weigh it out on a scale, bro. Is it bringing you to, or is it bringing you to them? When Beyonce get on stage, are you being brought to Yahuwah, or are you being brought to Beyonce? When you see Kendrick on stage, are you being brought to Kendrick, or are you being brought to Yahuwah? Are you being brought to Nipsey Hussle, or are you being brought to Yahuwah? Because last time I checked, the music is supposed to point you to our Father. That's the reason why we do music. This is what Yahudah means, right? This is what our name means, is to give Yahuwah praise. Nothing else. So anything else you could be doing is bringing esteem to yourself. So, and that's the trick of the enemy.
Last two names.
Yes, sir.
Kanye West. Oops, I meant Ye. I said Kanye West. Ye.
Same thing. Controlled opposition. Yeah, controlled opposition. Like he's okay. And when I talk to people about certain things, I want our people to use common sense. If I myself got on live TV and told anybody that I got my mama knocked off, where would I be? Would I be locked up? I would have all kinds of charges on me. I'd be locked up. I'd be locked underneath the jail. They'd be trying to figure out, how did I do this? Why? This man admitted to sacrificing his mama. And I'm like, man, our people don't think. We think like we got to really think like everything they want you to see, they're going to show you. They want you to see this, right? So Kanye West starts talking about the Jewish people. Like, yeah, they know that we know this already. So yeah, he's going to say all these things, but this is still controlled opposition, because then right after he say this, he come with some weird stuff, right? Because Satan just wants us to attach ourselves to weirdness and craziness. Kanye West is a devil worshiper, right? And all you gotta do, on the concerts he's done, is full on worshiping Satan, ritual, drinking blood, doing all these things. I did a whole video on it on my brother Kazak, his channel, Shattered Paradise. I did like a whole video I put together for him in regards to Kanye. And it was funny you say Kanye, because that's the artist that I was focused on. And from when he came into the industry, Stanley sold his soul to where he is now. He's just controlled opposition. He's no different.
Last name? Anuahyahu.
Man, Anuahyahu is just a wretched man that's Lord in dirt, that really want to see his people win and want to see his people make it home to Yahuwah. I want to see my people even enter the gates before I do. That's a true statement. I always say that to people. Like, man, I want to see you entering in before me. I try to want to be selfless, humble at all times, and not thinking about myself more than what I'm called. Like the scripture says, we're not supposed to look at ourselves like, let another man praise you. You're not supposed to praise yourself, or not praise you, but just, just honoring you in that way. But some people put themselves up. I try not to do that. I try to be respectful, and but I'm just a wretched man before Yahuwah, bro. You know how I say the man smote himself on the chest and said, man, just have mercy on me. I would say that's me. I want the Yahuwah to have mercy on me, bro, and just and try to do as much as I can while I'm here, to bring people. Like it says that our branches are supposed to be our branches are supposed to have fruit on them, good fruit on them. Because if your branches got bad fruit on them, he gonna cut it down and burn it. You know what I'm saying? So Anuahyahu just wants to have good fruit, meaning like if I'm planting water into this music, and it's people like you said, what you say, touch me today, bro. Like how you came into this truth and you heard my song, that is for me, bro. That's my payment. I don't get paid a lot of money to do this music, bro. You know, we do videos and we pull from our own houses to do this music, but it's all this thing to Yahuwah. I thank God Yahuwah for the opportunity, but it's for the very reason that you told me at the beginning of this interview. That's why. That's what keeps me going. That's what encourages me. Just hearing what you said, that's a blessing for me, and that's my payment. And I thank God Yahuwah for that, because this is why He told me to write. It wasn't for me. It was for it to gather His people and to for they could remember Him, and not remember who Anuahyahu is, but more or less like, dang man, if they did remember me, all He was doing was talking about His Father. He didn't try to bring His thing to Himself. You know what I'm saying? Staying out the way, just trying to stay out the way. Love this family, my immediate family, and then my mishpachah all over the world. Those I know and those I don't know. And try to show respect to them, and then also just anybody that hears this, I would pray that they never be offended by me if they don't see me at shows or doing, entertaining them and all that stuff. I pray that they would just understand that I really love my people. I really love my people. It's not about me doing a show, but look at, like, man, the heart. Like, man, this man is, going out his way to put these songs to get to us. This stuff, costs money. You know what I mean? I mean, for real, bro. And it's like, and it's just for my people to be able to be like, man, they can go to work and they can listen to something that's not tainting their spirit. You get what I'm saying?
On screen, African Brother Light says, "Love your music, brother."
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, my love you, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for being a support. And it's we have other artists that man, we need y'all, bro. Like, we really need. You know how I said, "Woe to the man who's alone." So I appreciate the encouragement that keeps me going, bro. Because, like I said earlier, man, the government be on our head, bro. They be on our top, trying to keep us from getting the music to y'all. Um, had an African lady hit me up, said, "Man, we were dancing to your music in the streets in Africa." You know what I'm saying? And that's my payment, bro. And the government sees that. They see that, bro. So they hate that. You know what I'm saying? They see that and they hate that. So you guys share it, man. Share it with the world, bro. Because I remember my wife told me one time, she said she used to not understand, like, dang, my husband does this music, but the importance of it. And so Yahuwah was telling her, like, where your husband's feet have not set on the soil, like in Africa or whatever, but his music is there. Or here, his music is in places where he probably would never touch his feet in. You know what I mean? And so Yahuwah is doing it through the people moving it and let it grow organically, because, man, if it was up to the government, they would shut it all down. You know what I mean? So it's really the people who keep it going and keep sharing it, because trust and believe, man, they trying hard, to keep us from getting hurt, but they can't stop what Yahuwah is doing, even if it's one person. You know what I mean? And I pray over the music that it touches people. I've had people hit me up, say, "Man, that what it saved my marriage." I'm like, how? Like, wow, Brock Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, bro, like, and that's my payment, bro. When I hear stories like that, man, that's my payment, bro. And I rejoice. I really rejoice when I hear those stories, because I know that it's not me, it's Yahuwah, and I'm just a dirty vessel, man. Just want to be used by Yahuwah, man. Like how he said when the master left the house, man. I don't want to bury my talent in the dirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? So this is the talent he gave me when I was trying to do it for the world and going hard for the world. So I got to go hard for Yahuwah and try to gain people to him. A lot of people, like we talked about the Kendricks and the Nipseys and all that stuff, they bring people to themselves. You know, what reward do you have? There's no reward in that, bro. You gotta bring people to Yahuwah. That's our calling. I don't care if you doing music. I don't care if you homeschooling. I don't care if you, whatever you doing. If you working as a truck driver, what your job here is to be working as a farmer and planting and watering seeds, bro. And pray every day that Yahuwah sends you somebody to work on, whether it's your family or somebody that you might meet, and do your job. Because even if your branch had one fruit on it, you know that one fruit is good. He said, like the woman that gave him 2 mites, right? She gave more than everybody. That's equivalent to us too. We might be like, oh well, I don't have the gift Demetric has of rapping and talk to all these. No, but you have a gift, bro. The one person you might bring, he is all the same to him, long as you do your job. To the measure of faith he's giving you, long as you do your job, that's what pleases him, right? And being selfless, just like, man, I'm gonna do it. I could easily be like, man, I'm cool, man. I ain't gonna do this. It's costing money, the videos, all this stuff, man. Like, bro, sometimes, bro, like seriously, doing these videos, the reason why y'all see a lot of videos because they cost money, and sometimes, bro, like, you know, I gotta think about my family first in regards to bills. And when we could do them, we could do them. You know what I mean? And but Yahuwah still makes a way. He still makes a way. We gotta rent certain places, and that stuff all requires money. And so we doing it out of our own pockets. But that's because of the love we have for Yahuwah's people. First Yahuwah, then his people. Right? And so he always makes a way. And but it's for building this nation up in love, man. And try to bring us back to our Father. And that's it.
Wow. Wow. This was an amazing interview. Thank you for making the sacrifice, taking your time out to
Thank you for having me.
allow us to hear your testimony. And this was powerful. Thank you, Anuahyahu. Thank you, Anuahyahu. Thank you. I can't even speak. Thank you. I'm speechless over here. I can't even get my words out. This was powerful. Thank you.
Man, thank you for having me. What's up, Raul? I see a Raul. Praise Yahuwah, man. Rock Yahuwah. And yeah, that's the message, man, is to I would say to the people to lay everything at Yahuwah's feet. Lay it at his feet. If you have any struggles, lay it at his feet. I want to say one last thing before I get off.
Oh, you got it, King. Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm gonna just be transparent.
I just didn't want to hold you. I was trying my best to be, you know, I don't want to overstep and take too much of your time now. So
No.
I appreciate your time here because I know that you're extremely busy. But you got it, King.
Hallelujah. No, man. Yahuwah is important. It's more important than his people. So I want to say this to the men, and I want to say this to the men. This is very, very important. And I've told this to the brothers I'm close with, and I give them this testimony. I would say some years, maybe it was about 1 or 2 years ago. I remember having a problem with like being like on Instagram, looking at the pretty girls and the fine girls on Instagram and all that stuff, and scrolling, you know, just looking at, you know, the butt shaking and all that crazy stuff. And I had a dream. And in this dream, I was at like a gathering. I was at a gathering, and it was a lot of people there, but I only remember one person at the time was a brother I know named Zamar. I call him Woo, and my brother Woo, and he said, Yahuwah has something against you. And I was so shocked. I was shocked. I'm like, what? Like, no way. Me? Like, yeah, Yahuwah has something against you. And I said, he said, let me take you in the living room. I'm gonna tell you what it was. This is all a dream. It's vivid. So I go to the living room with him. We sit on the couch. He's about to tell me, And out of nowhere, like this little black girl comes, and she has like this cargo net, like a dirty, I'm talking about a real filthy cargo net. You know, like they like say if you got a truck and you want to hold down big boxes or whatever, you put this big, it's like a rope type of cargo net. But she's trying to put it over my head. And it's dirty. And I'm like, no, little girl, like, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing in the dream? I'm like, what are you doing? Right? And so I remember waking up on my dream, and I remember it was so vivid that it made me get out of bed. It was early in the morning, and I got out of bed. And I remember I was like, I need to find out what this meant, because I know it was Yahuwah trying to tell me something. It was a warning. And so as I said, you know, usually from that first moment when I prayed, that one time I told you I prayed in the shower, I always pray in the shower. You know what I mean? I always pray in the shower. So I'm about to go pray in the shower. And as I'm going to the shower, I hear Yahuwah tell me, he said, you're not going to need anybody to interpret this for you. I'm going to tell you what it meant. So I get in the shower underwater, and I'll start listening to him. And he told me the little girl with the net was a snare. He told me the net was a snare. And he asked me, did I love stubble? Now, this is all to the men who was out here that's listening. He asked me, did I love stubble? And I said, stubble? I'm like scratching my head like, what? He says it again. Do you love stubble? I think he asked me about 4 or 5 times, bro. And I'm like, stubble. And I couldn't figure it out what he meant. And he said, because all the women you've been looking at, lest they repent, they're going to be ashes under the feet of the righteous. So do you love that? This is what he said to me. He said, do you love that? Man, I became like a baby in a shower. No, Father. Like, no, like it scared me. It scared me, bro, because he was showing me that the times I'm in a bathroom or whatever, I'm just scrolling through my phone and I happen to find it. Look up, I'm not trying to intentionally find it, but it's just coming up on the thing. And I'm just going clicking because I see a big butt. You know what I mean? He's showing me that he's watching everything I'm doing. And that could lead to something else. So to all the men who's listening, man, listen, lay everything at Abba's feet because he sees everything, bro. Women, if it's anything, lay it at Abba's feet, man. A lot of times we come into this walk and we think, oh, because we know we got all this, you know, we got our fringes, we got our zitzies, we got the name, we doing the feast days. He still wants us to lay at his feet the things that we have issues, and he knows them all. Sometimes we don't like to confess them. You know, I'm confessing this to you because I don't have nothing to hide. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's why I say I'm a wretched man before Yahuwah. And he loved me enough to show me and tell me. And anytime I get an opportunity to tell somebody that one of my brothers, I tell them. Because if that can be a help for you, anybody on it that has that issue or whatever, not saying I was looking at porn because I wasn't, but still, it's things that he doesn't like. And whatever that is, it don't have to be women. If it's anything, you got anger issues or glut, whatever it is, if you know it, Yahuwah gonna show you. If he love you, he gonna show you. Lay it at his feet. Don't be afraid to confess it. Lay it at his feet. It's freedom in confession. You can confess it to your father. He knows it already. You know what I mean? If you have people that's close to you, whatever, just lay it, whatever dead weight at his feet. You know what I mean? And that's what's so important. That's what I'm learning in this walk is to truly lay all the burdens at his feet. And with that, I can say Barak Yahuwah, because I felt like I had to say that before I got off.
All glory, all praises, all kavod to our great King.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Anuahyahu. Thank you, Anuahyahu. Thank you, Ak. Now, before you go, I gotta say this.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you so we can subscribe to everything that you got.
Like you showed them the website. I got to update the website, but you can show them the website, BecameHumbleFilmZ.com. Of course, you want to, if you just put in Demetric Pruitt, you'll see my Instagram. I don't have a Facebook anymore because, like I said, they shut my Facebook down about a few weeks ago. And I just started a TikTok, which they flagged me twice on TikTok already just for. I told it was an Ak that was going through the same thing on TikTok, and he was saying, "Yeah, man, we should because somebody had got their page taken down." So he was saying, as brothers in his walk, we need to like just repost their stuff. I don't know who he was talking about, but I was like, man, that's crazy. And I said, that's crazy, and they flagged my thing for saying that's crazy. That's all I said was that's crazy. Wow. So
Wow.
they monitor Yahuwah's people on these platforms to watch, and they
That's
don't want to
crazy,
see
Ak, that
get
they
out.
banned you for saying that's crazy, Ak.
Well, yeah, they didn't ban me, but they took that off. They removed it and they said it was flagged. Just the comment was flagged. So I said, wow, it's crazy. Like all I said was that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's all I said, bro. And but it just shows me that they watch us, and not just me, they watch all of us. So just be prepared. Like we just gotta be prepared. Also give an answer for Yahuwah. Because these people watch us, man, and Yahuwah's protecting us. We don't even realize how much Yahuwah protects us throughout the day. But he does, for sure. Especially if you're doing like my brother Kazak and his wife, they do these videos. I don't know if anybody on here heard of Shattered Paradise, but they do these videos, man, where they're kind of like exposing all the crazy stuff that the government is doing and stuff, and they do it under the name of Yahuwah. And they're like watchmen, and they get attacked a lot. So anytime you try to blow that trumpet, man, they're gonna be coming after you. So prayers are needed for sure for Mr. Anuahyahu and anybody who's out here trying to blow that shofar. You know what I mean? We definitely need your prayers, and we definitely appreciate the encouragement. It's much needed. Like you guys have no idea. It's much needed. So we thank you so much. And I speak on behalf of my brothers that I do know. It's very much needed.
All praises to Yah. Everybody subscribe to Anuahyahu right here. Here is the link right here. It's also in the chat. I'm putting it on screen. It's in the chat, everybody. Everybody that's listening, subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Subscribe to the music. Check out the music at this website right here.
Yeah, and if they kick you off,
BeCameHumbleFilms.com.
right, and if they kick you off the YouTube, just keep subscribing because it's happened a lot to people when they boot them off for some reason. So,
That's right, family. They can't stop us. They're not going to stop the awakening.
hallelujah.
No matter how hard they try, we're going to keep coming. And make
Man,
sure
look,
that you subscribe to Anuahyahu's IG right here, family.
hallelujah. It was getting
Go
dark
ahead,
in.
King. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's good. I'm like, damn, I didn't realize how dark it's gotten since I'm looking at myself in that thing like, oh man.
Oh.
Hey Jordan, can you cut the light pop off? Cut that light on for me real quick. But yeah, no, I thank you. Yeah, I thank you all for having me on. The light pop off. Just cut the light on for me. Thank you. That's better. Ooh, wow.
Appreciate you, King. Appreciate you. Just want to show everybody one more time right here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as many times as you need to. If they kick you off, just keep subscribing.
Keep
Right
subscribing.
here, the website. Make sure that you cop the music, family. We gotta support our brother.
Rock Yahoo.
And subscribe to the IG right here. And if you want to put any other links, you can right here if you like. But I just wanted everybody to see.
Right. No, that's good, man. Barak Yahuwah. They'll be able to find me from the links you provided. So Barak Yahuwah, man. I appreciate you.
And right here, Raul says, right here, already subscribed. Praise Yah.
Hallelujah. Thanks, Raul. Thanks, brother.
All right. So in our closing, any last words before we head on out?
Man, that was what I said last time I said it, man, to the brothers. That was what I had to say, man, and just laying everything at Yahuwah's feet. That was basically what Yahuwah wanted me to say. So besides that, to all the listeners that's listening now, and those who will go listen to the video, man, I love you guys, and just pray for your people that's putting themselves out there to do this music or just whatever they doing. Just support one another, man, and not that's what Yahuwah looks for us to not be so judgmental if things don't look like you think it should. You know what I mean? And just support. I remember somebody had jumped on my brother's video and said, "Yeah, man, look, he flossing. He's driving through a Jeep through the desert." We was like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, you can't have a nice car now? Like, what is? Come on, bro. Like." And so sometimes the people could be a little religious and judgmental, but we still love them because we know how it is. You know what I mean? But just get to know the person and not so much and just look at the message we trying to share, and it's all Yahuwah. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we are flawed individuals, you know. So like I said, I'm dirt, man. So Barak Yahuwah for the opportunity to be able to share it with the people. And yeah, Barak Yahuwah.
Appreciate you, Ak. Thank you.
Black,
Peace, love, and blessings upon you and yours. Thank you
black.
for this interview.
All right, Barak Yahuwah. Thank you for having me. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. I love you, Ak. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate you.
love you too, man. Brother.
All glory, all praises, all honor to our great King. That was Anuahyahu, Demetric Pruitt. Family, I'm speechless. That was an amazing interview. I'm excited. Like, I like way can't believe it that I just interviewed Anuahyahu. When I first came into the truth, he was one of the first artists that I tapped into, that I listened to. His music has left an impact on my life. His music has influenced and changed my life. My wife and I, we listen to him all the time. I forgot to mention to him. But yes, we listen to him all the time on the Shabbat. And his music is powerful. It's amazing. He is a gifted artist. Yahuwah has blessed Anuahyahu with the gift of lyricism, which is rare these days. There's not a lot of lyricisms. There's not a lot of lyricists these days. Lyricists, you gotta look hard to find them. Well, at least you gotta spend some time. You gotta spend some time looking for people who can actually rap. Yes, brother Raul. Yes. He check out his music. He will empower you. He will encourage you to draw closer to our great King. For sure. All right, family. So, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and close with some announcements just to remind everybody. And sometimes they find you. Hallelujah. All glory. Yes. I like to encourage everybody to. Let me go ahead and go back. Let's go to. Let's go to became. Let's go to the website. go to Became Humble Film. Just give me a second, family. I just want to go ahead and plug his music one more time before we go. There we go. Okay. All right, family. Let me go ahead and share on screen right here. Everybody subscribe to Became Humble Films right here, fam. Right here. As you can see, I'm subscribed. All praises to Yah. And as we close, let me go ahead and remind everybody that the feast day Shavuot is around the corner. So if you desire to learn about the Feast of Weeks, we got you. Let me go ahead and share my screen and show you. Go to playlists. Right here, family, in playlists. Click on feast days and celebrations and click on this video, Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks Explained, how to count the Omer, Hebrew Israelite teaching. Learn how to count the Omer, and I will be celebrating Shavuot live. My wife and I, we are going to go live for Shavuot. We are going to celebrate Shavuot Sunday night. I believe it's June. What is Sunday night? Is it May 31st? I think it's May 31st is Sunday night. Let me check the calendar real quick. May calendar. I'm going to post a YouTube post to remind everybody when Shavuot is around the corner, when our live stream is around the corner. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. That way you guys can feel free to join us for Shavuot. Let me just go ahead and make sure. Yes, I think it's June 1st, actually, June 1st. June calendar. Yes, so Sunday night on June 1st, we are going to go live, my wife and I, and we're going to celebrate Shavuot. So look, pay attention, family, to the posts. I'm going to post it, I believe, on Sunday. I'll let you guys know when we get closer to Shavuot, and that way we can keep the feast day of Yah together. Hallelujah. All right, let me do one more check in before I head on out. See how we're looking. All right, all right. Appreciate you, Ema. I appreciate you. I know you're on the clock, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm thankful for your edification that you bring to this channel, your support. I appreciate the time that you give to this ministry. I appreciate you, Ema. Even though you're at work, I'm thankful for the time that you were able to check out this live stream. This live stream was a blessing. I am amazed, family. I am amazed and really excited that I had the opportunity to interview Anuahyahu, Demetric Pruitt. I can't wait till this live stream is over so I can watch it back, to be honest with y'all. Shalom, shalom to Istafly. Shalom, shalom to you. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to you, King. To you, fam. Shalom to you, fam. Shalom to Alicia Victorious. Shalom to Black Storm. Shalom to Martia. Marcia, Ema, Marcia, Hamilton, Ema, Martia. Shalom, shalom. All praises. All right, family. On that note, I'm Jaden Israel. Until next time, shalom, fam.